Hello and welcome, and thank you for joining. Today we're going to cover partner community sharing setup. So in the last video we saw how to set up a partner community, and we noticed that the partner community user had access to all the org contacts and accounts and opportunity, which we really don't want to do, and that's really not a good practice. So I'm able to see all the accounts in the Salesforce as a partner, and so a lot of times we don't want that. So let's see how to fix that. First of all, the number one place you need to come to is sharing settings, and notice the external access setup. So in my org, everything is read-write currently. So we have account and contract read-write, opportunities read-write, and contact is controlled by parent, so which is also read-write. Another thing to keep in mind is the external access should always can be equal or less more strict than internal. You cannot make the internal private and then external public. That's not, you'll get an error. So let's fix that first by making account private, and that will ask me to change the case and opportunity to private as well. And I also want to control the contact separately. So I'm going to make it private instead of controlled by parent. And if I make that private, I need to make the internal private as well. Which obviously in your org, if you have that scenario, then you might want to create some sharing rules for the internal as well. So I'm going to hit save there and see how that impacts the community sharing. So let's give it a few seconds, and going back to here and hit refresh. So hopefully the contacts are gone. Maybe it takes a few minutes sometimes. Let's go check deals. It shouldn't show me all the opportunities now, and all the opportunities are gone. Contacts as well. So I can only see my own contact, which is Andy Young. And that's fine. So let's see in the opportunity case, I'm not seeing any opportunity that my account own, but maybe I do need to see those opportunities. I need to see the opportunity that my account has, and maybe that's a requirement. And another thing is I might want to see all the contacts that my account has. Right now I'm only seeing one contact. So let's see how to share records. So first I made it restrict. So once you have restricted, that's when you can start opening up the sharing. So I usually in Salesforce internal, for scenarios like this, we'll use sharing rules by using roles or some other things. But as we saw in the last video, that partner roles are not as straightforward. They will have different names based on the account that you have partnered with. And if you have few partners, that's perfectly fine. You can create sharing roles. But if you have a lot of partner and with different names, it gets really messy to control the sharing roles using partner roles names. So Salesforce came up with something called sharing set, which is a somewhat newer concept, but not very new. So sharing set actually lets you share any object that has a lookup to account without using a sharing rules. So what you need to do is come to community settings. There is a sharing set option, click new, and give it a name. So what do you want to call it? Trail partner sharing. Give it a description and the partner profile that you're looking to share the records with. And by the way, this also applies for the customer community. You can share the records in a similar fashion in customer community. So for the opportunity, I want an opportunity. I want to share opportunity, and I want to share contact. And if the contact was not private, you would not see them here. So they need to be private for you to start opening that access. Okay, so now after I add them, I'll see these two different setups here. So for opportunity, this is where majority of the trick is that you need to select the user lookup field that's tied to that account. So in this case, Andy Young has account tied to Dickinson Place and the opportunity.account. So whatever opportunity has that account, if these two matches, that will be shared. That's how it's shared. So I'm going to give only read only for opportunity, hit update. And let's look at that one more time on contact. So contact, the way I want to share this is user.contact or user.account, sorry. Target contact.account needs to be matching. So any contact that has that account as lookup, and maybe I want to give it read write. hit update. And we are done here and save it. Now let's go back and check it out on the community. Let's hit refresh. So now I'm seeing 2 contacts. Before I saw only Andy Young. So test is also another contact on the same account. And let's see if I can edit that because I gave an edit access. So I should be able to edit this contact. Great, that's what I wanted. For the opportunities, I should see more opportunities than I was initially seeing. I should see all the opportunities that belong to Dickinson Place. That's Andy Young's account. If I go to one of them, but I only gave read-only access. So if I go and try to edit that, I should get an error. Okay, so it looks like our sharing set worked. And this is one of the easiest or the most easiest way to share records in partners, as long as they have lookup to account. That's one of the major requirements for that. I hope that was helpful and you learned something new for sharing as far as the community, and you can apply the same concept for customer community as well. So please let me know if you have any questions, comments. I'm always happy to hear from you and assist if you have any questions in regards to sharing of community.